welcome to today's reading. So, I don't know where this reading is going to go today. I'm not sure what we're looking at the moment. So if you've been drawn to this video, please do like and subscribe. That will help me to channel in the energy of who this is for and what it's about and what we're doing today. So let's just sink into the space and we'll pick the governing rune for today. This one's come out quite a lot lately. This is the rune Kainaz, and Kainaz is a rune that is all about paying attention. I think I've said before, it connects us to our solar plexus. So this is your personal power, your confidence, something I feel that you have been made aware of recently. This could be, I do feel a real masculine energy around this. So maybe you are a masculine yourself. Or if you're not, you may be a feminine that's very much in your masculine right now. So what I mean by that is it's sort of taking action, very logical right now, and practical. So there may be a feeling of that energy for you at this time. This is about illumination. So maybe since the full moon, so we're heading into the new moon now. Since the full moon, something has been awoken in you. Something has been highlighted here. Something is a driving force you need to pay attention to. So there's an energy there as well of observing yourself. I do feel with this one, this can be about things from the subconscious mind coming forward into the conscious mind. And what I mean by that is that sometimes we are running in the background patterns and ways of thinking that we aren't aware of because it's in our subconscious. And Kainaz is like in your subconscious mind. Imagine it like a cave. You're walking in there with this torch and it's showing you what's in there. So something has been awoken within that subconscious and being brought forward into your conscious reality right now. So that might be a belief or a thought that you didn't realize you had, and it's changing things right now. Maybe that's why you are seeking some guidance here. I feel guided to pick more runes on this. So let's have a look at the past on this situation. So what is the rune that represents the past for this person? Okay, we have Perthro. This is a rune of, it's like a gambling rune, taking chances. So I feel like you took a chance on something here. I do feel like this actually could be about quite a desirable relationship here. Perthro can sometimes come out when it's about quite a lust or a sexual relationship, that kind of thing. So I do feel like that's kind of the past in this. And this might be to do with maybe going on lots of dates with different people, or it might be where you have made changes in your life based around relationships, or just unexpected things happening here. But it does hold that energy of sort of exploration in that sense of sexuality. So that's coming from the past. That's kind of brought into where you are right now, an awareness potentially of yourself, your self-confidence, your self-worth maybe. So let's have a look at what this means moving forward. So we know what this is connected to from the past, and it's brought forward now, a chance for us to be more aware. And the future, we have Yera, which is natural cycles of growth. So this is like a harvest time. Yera means year, and it's what we've learned over that time. So traditionally, any spell work or anything that used to be done it would take a year and a day. So any study would take a year and a day. And I feel like that's what this is representing to you. It's sort of like you've been working on something on yourself for, might be longer than a year, but you've been working on this pattern within yourself, becoming more aware of what is in that subconscious that has been affecting you in your present right now. That torch has been lit. You are fully aware, fully illuminated by this. And actually the actions that you've been taking have brought you into this completion state of, you know, this is good. This is, you are manifesting now. You've done the work on yourself. So it's time for that harvest. Imagine a field, you know, and you've ploughed it, you've planted the seeds, you've done all the work to nurture it, to look after it, and it hasn't been easy. And you may have had things happen along the way. And I feel like that's coming from the past here. It's like you've taken chances, had experience that perhaps didn't turn out to be what you expected. But even so, you've continued on this path of self-realization, of discovery, and you have come into this full circle now where you are now bringing in that harvest. Your crops are ready. You are in a place of completion here. But I'm getting the sense that you don't feel completed here. There's a sense of you've done that work on yourself, but you're feeling like just like a despondence, like something doesn't feel quite right on this. I'm getting the strength card just flew out there in reverse. So this could be like there's a bit of a doubt here. There's a fear. It can also be, again, I feel like in your subconscious mind, there's something that's like sabotaging your efforts a little bit, or it feels like that. So there's still something that you aren't quite aware of that is sabotaging your efforts here. So let's have a look at what that is. Because you are, you know, on an energetic level, you are doing the work and you are reaping those rewards, but you're not feeling like you're not seeing that, because you feel like you're doing things, or maybe not doing things, that are actually keeping you in a place of, and I want to say loneliness, or just isolation, or not feeling like you're fully where you want to be. But actually in those thoughts, it's bringing forward from your subconscious mind what the reality is here. So what is this that's holding you back in the subconscious? Let's see. What is this person holding back, this thought that they're not aware of? Oh, okay, we have the King of Swords here. So this is about communication, and it's about being brave. So in your subconscious, I do feel like perhaps this is about a thought that's quite intellectual. So I do feel like this is a person that's in their head an awful lot. But this is about trying to access a more logical. So maybe you've been too much in the emotion, and the emotion has kind of been the driving force for you self-sabotaging. So what the King of Swords is asking you to do now is to get into your head, use your thinking mind, think logically, think about facts, not assumptions. What are the facts here? What can you honestly say the facts are about this situation and where you're at right now? Why things are tripping you up? It feels like you are putting a lot of emotional stuff onto what's happening here, when actually, when you really think about it and you look at the facts, it can become more clear. You'll have more clarity of mind from that. I love this card because we have a lot of creatures in there. There's a dragonfly just there, and this signifies transformation, but also sometimes illusion. And it's like this person, they're not seeing that illusion there. They're just not looking at it. And they're not really looking at anything going on around them, you know. It's like, who sits there with an owl and a bat and a raven and a dragonfly, you know, without really noticing it? I just don't understand how you could do that. But he's just gazing along. Maybe he's tripping. Perhaps he had a mushroom that day. But we're just seeing that he, you know, bats, they use echolocation, they use that communication. Owls, they fly through the dark. They can actually be quite silent. So I feel like this person's looking at communicating in some way, but not sure of which way to do it. And there's this illusion hanging around in the background there that's holding them back from this transformation. So what is it that you're not able to speak? There's a binding here as well, because there's sort of like this bracelet on there. That always makes me think of like the Two of Cups and the hand fasting. So it's almost like there's a feeling of being bound to something here. and it's like you're carrying that around almost like it's a chain pretty much, and it needs to be unraveled, it needs to be cast off potentially. So there is communication, I feel, that needs to happen here, but look at what that illusion is. So remember, facts are where it's at. So what is that illusion then? What's creating this illusion for this person in this situation? Okay, we have 2 cards that have fallen out. Oh, no, actually we have 4 cards that have fallen out. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to talk about these two. We've got the 6 of Swords and the 2 of Swords in reverse. Now that's heavy. That is quite heavy. So with the 6 of Swords, I feel like this person's going back and forth with feeling like, are you coming or are you going? What are you doing? And this is all, again, with the swords, it's all kind of thoughts, but they are carried by emotion rather than by thinking and logic. So with the 6 of Swords on there, it's when it's the right way up, it's usually about like recovering from something or going on a journey. There's a bit of doubt about whether to go forward with that or to come away from that. It's almost like it's not recovery, it's like constantly paining yourself, and that might be to do with the self-sabotage that we're seeing going on here. Like you're cutting yourself off maybe from going on a journey, traveling, doing something that you really want to do. It's like you're beating yourself up over things and telling yourself, you can't do that, I can't do this, I mustn't do that. And when it's upright, this is normally about somebody being quite down, but I feel like this is more like feeling annoyed, feeling frustrated, feeling like you want to do something, you want to go somewhere, but feeling like there are things that are tripping you up. So again, we go back to what is that self-sabotage, what is happening there, and why is it happening? And that's what we're trying to explore, to bring out of the subconscious to make you more aware of it. So it feels to me like you are dropping into your emotions, but not fully recognizing where they're coming from or why they're there. It's like all emotions, like what is it that's said about, emotions such as anger? It's, it's fear based. There's fear around potentially maybe losing something, fear about not being able to recover from something, not being able to let go, I feel, on this as well. So we've also got the 2 of Swords in reverse here. So this, when it's the right way up, this is usually about where there's like been a bit of a stalemate. So if it's that way around, this is, again, we've got hunning and munning here, mind and memory. I feel like, again, go back to the facts rather than assumptions, and what your emotion, of frustration and anger potentially is guiding you on. You need to drop into, well, actually, what is the true memory that I have here? And I feel like the memory maybe could be a little bit rose tinted, and that's what's frustrating you, is because you've got that memory there, or perhaps there's memories here where you keep going over the pattern of like what happened there, what was this about? And then you've got your mind there, sort of like you're not really, like you see the person with the blindfold on, you're not really fully acknowledging actually what's going on around this. It's too emotional. This can be where it's sort of like, well, when it's that way around, there's like block or avoidance with things. So I feel like maybe you're coming into a time where it's time to not be so avoidant. So when it's upside down like this, it's making me think of the Hanged Man, which is that taking a different perspective, letting go of that belief that's holding you back, that's preventing you. And then we also have on here the Devil. So it's trickery at its best with this card. So I do feel like there is, you feel like your mind is tricking you a little bit on here. I do feel like there is an element of, when we were saying about self-sabotage, there's an element of perhaps there's things that you're doing right now. You may have a bit of an addictive personality towards, perhaps maybe you are not looking after yourself properly, maybe drinking, or doing something that is actually stopping you or holding you back from actually accessing these thoughts and being able to find the logic and the clarity and the bravery to do what needs to be done here. This is kind of like going, oh, but you don't want to do that. Just keep pretending to yourself. So it's like, you know, why can't you allow yourself to drop into the place to understand what it is that you're feeling here, bringing it out of the subconscious, bringing it into your conscious mind. I feel like there's a lot of facts that need to be addressed on this, rather than it being sort of like, stop keeping that story going on yourself. You know, you're trapping yourself in stories that actually aren't serving a purpose for you and are holding you in this space of feeling trapped within what you're doing, when actually what you really want is that freedom. You want to be released from this. Remember, we said with the King of Swords, it's got that binding on there. You want to be released from this, but this thing isn't going away. It's hanging over you. It's staying there, and it's based around emotion. But where is that emotion coming from? And we have on here as well the World. So this is, you know, change is coming. This is about fate. It can signify somebody going on a journey as well. Like you've completed the wheel, and it goes perfectly with Yera. So it's almost like, you know, at this point, why do you feel like you're being punished? It's like you feel like you're being punished for something, and you instead of saying, when I know better, I'll do better, or saying to yourself, like, I know that this is a karmic lesson and I can move through this. Instead, you're flogging yourself and just self-sabotaging, and taking or basically going back into this, like taking chances that are coming from that subconscious mind that you know are going to damage what it is that you're going for. That's what I'm getting, is a feeling of something that's really good for you. You're turning your back away from it because of the subconscious. You don't realise that you're doing that. But because it doesn't feel comfortable or natural to you, then it's kind of like you're turning your back on it. So this might be an opportunity for you to recognise what is a comfort zone here and what is me stepping out of that. And I've said this before, and I love saying this to people because it's just a weird analogy, but it's the kind of feeling of like, you know, if something's really comfortable, but it's actually really bad, but you've become so comfortable with it, compared to something that's actually really good for you, and there's an element of uncomfortableness because it's not heavy, it's, you know, it's not what you used to, and that's why it feels different or unnatural. But in surrendering to it, you're allowing yourself to grow. So it's like choosing either comfort or growth. Which one is it? And the analogy that I normally use is sort of like, you know, where if like you like wet the bed, for instance, or something, and for a moment there it's quite warm, it feels quite nice, it feels quite comfortable, and you might lie in that for a little while, but you know at some point you're going to have to clean that up. And there's a point there, isn't there, where it's sort of like you could choose not to clean that up, and eventually it's going to smell and blah blah blah. I know, sorry, this is a weird thing to say, but thinking about where, you know, at some point you're going to take it all and wash it and clean it, and maybe say to yourself, like, perhaps I won't do that again. But for some it might be that you just become really comfortable in it, you know, or like a child that wears nappies for way longer than they need to because they just couldn't get out of the comfort of taking the growth of coming out of those nappies. Yeah. So yeah, sorry about that. It's a strange thing to say, but I hope it makes sense to what I'm trying to say here. Is almost like things that aren't actually for your greater good that you've become comfortable with are holding you back from stepping towards things that actually would bring you comfort and support and love in the long run. And I'm saying this on here because it feels like it's all in the subconscious currently, and that's why you've got Kanaz on here. Maybe this reading is the Kanaz torch that's showing you this is what's holding you back from here. I almost thought that was the world then for a minute. This is holding you back. This is what you need to complete this cycle, basically. It's what you've been looking for to complete this cycle, to break this energy of you stepping into things without really thinking about it. It's like a reckless energy to this, and you keep hitting your head against the wall because of it, and you've recognized that, but it's almost like you don't know what to do with it because you didn't really know where it's coming from. So hopefully we have just uncovered that on there. So let's give you an outcome then now. If you were to, from what we've just awoken, from what we've just explored here, where we know that your subconscious is what is sabotaging you at this point. And the sabotage is through, I feel, addictions. It's through things that are holding you in a place of feeling quite melancholy, quite down, and a feeling of like, well, I'm never going to be able to break this cycle. This is who I am. This is how I am. But there's a depth in there of wanting to change this, of wanting to bring that out. So I've just picked a card on there, and we're going to pick one for your subconscious now to go with that card. Okay, so now we've been talking, and your subconscious has an intention. This is Sawillo, the power of the sun, a life force energy. We have brought new life force energy into your subconscious now to bring forward into your conscious the fact that you recognize now that there are things holding you back in your life, sabotaging things. I'm going to say I do feel like it may be alcohol or, I don't know, maybe drugs or something like that. Not hard drugs, but sort of like something that's really holding you back. Maybe an unhealthy diet, but definitely alcohol feels like something that is affecting your sabotaging that's going on here. I also have the Page of Cups as well, but it's in reverse. So it's sort of like we want to bring forward now, like not missing those signs. So since you've been watching this reading, you will see some signs now that are going to help you to bring that down. There's an energy that is blocked. So the sun energy here is going to shed light, and the torch of Kanaz as well. It's going to shed light on that subconscious. So remember, what you're feeling and thinking right now, you need to bring more of a brave and logical aspect to it. Bring yourself out of the things that are uncomfortably comfortable and move towards the things that you're starting to feel actually would be good for you, but you don't want to look at because it's unfamiliar to you. I hope that makes sense. Let's see what your higher conscience is trying to suggest to you right now. So where are we going with your higher conscience? What's been said here? I'm feeling like I just heard the words of like waning passion there. It's sort of like you felt very passionate about something maybe in the recent past, but it's like that passion's sort of waning now. You're starting to feel like just, you know, these things that are happening that are being sabotaged, it's recognizing that actually, you know, we need to bring that passion back. Your higher self is here about Wyrd, and Wyrd is a rune of relationships. And I do feel like this is potentially bringing you closer to the relationship with yourself. So again, the two ravens, Odin's ravens, Hunin and Munin, represent memory and mind. And Wyrd represents memory and mind. It's a union between your head and your heart. It's like the horse and the rider. And you have to align those two, because I feel like you're not in alignment with them at the moment. You're dropping into here and feeling anger and fear. And then when you come up to here, you're from that emotion, don't have the clarity to be brave and think about the logical sense of things. You're telling yourself stories, and with that devil card we were saying, like, you know, you are being trapped in those stories that you're telling yourself that are holding you back from moving forward, and your subconscious is just reinforcing this with things that you're doing that are self-sabotaging, and you're seeing those signs in everything. And that's what the Page of Cups is telling you here in reverse. It's kind of like you're missing the important signs here that are trying to guide you into that place of that relationship with yourself, of a power within, of balance. And it could be actually you are avoiding a healthy relationship perhaps because of this. And that, again, it comes back to that where we were saying about wetting the bed. It's almost like, well, it's more comfortable to just keep going into, you know, we were saying about relationships before, weren't we, of that kind of nature, that maybe, you know, it's more come from lust or desire rather than actually being more solid. And the thought of something a bit more solid is kind of like really scary potentially. And that's what this is what your higher self is kind of saying, is like, it's only scary because you don't have that stability within yourself potentially. If you're going to avoid yourself and your own emotions, then you can't head into a relationship that's healthy because you won't be emotionally present. So it's working on yourself, and this is what your higher self is guiding you into now, is that relationship with yourself, and marrying up your mind and your heart and really understanding and feeling those feelings, and allowing yourself to not lie to yourself anymore, to actually accept what the truth is. It doesn't mean you have to do anything about that truth, but it just means that you are trusting yourself to drop in to your body, drop into your mind and be like, yeah, I get that now. I do understand that. And it just keeps that clarity within your subconscious then. You know, it allows you then to be in a powerful, more manifesting state rather than a blocked, held back state. Okay. So let's get just one more card then to see what the outcome of this is for you. Because you are watching this video because you're ready to make these changes. This is feeding into your subconscious mind right now to give you an idea of where you're headed and what you're doing. And we have here the 9 of Cups, which is a beautiful energy of, it is like a wish fulfillment almost. It's like what you are looking for, you are heading towards that now. This is discipline within yourself. So you, from this, I'm hoping we've illuminated there for you. There are certain things that are blocking you, and it's not going to be easy to give these things up. It's not going to be easy to stop. But now that you are aware of them, now that you've lit that torch and you know that they are what's holding you in these patterns, in these stories, you'll be in a better position to let that go. And this is actually, rather than looking externally for something to fill up your cups, you're now going to find that within yourself. And that is the power of Wyrd. It's finding that stability within yourself. So then when you do have a new relationship, it will be from a foundation that you've already got within yourself. So it will just be enhancing your life rather than it being trying to put parts of it into your cups to fill you up. It's a much more stable energy that I feel you are coming into at this time. So please do like and subscribe to my channel. I would love to know how this reading panned out for you and what you do with it and where you take it. And I will speak to you soon. Have a blessed day.